Okay, so today I'm going to attempt to make a triple chocolate cheesecake, a little bit more complex recipe. First of all, I already prepped the crust. I took 20 Oreos and 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You melt it and then cool it. I don't have a food processor. It says to crush up the Oreos and the butter in a food processor, so I kind of did it by hand, and then mixed it all together, and then pushed it into the bottom of a 7-inch springform pan. Before I did that, we sprayed it with some cooking spray. And then after it's in there, you stick it in the freezer for 10 minutes. So I've already done that. And then next we'll get our Instant Pot ready. I've put the trivet inside, and then 2 cups of water. And then I've made a sling with some aluminum foil for our pan to help us get the pan out when it's finished. Put that in there. Okay. And then the ingredients that we need for the cheesecake is 1 pound of room temperature cream cheese. You need to leave it out for about 2 hours at least to get to room temperature. And then we've got a 1/4 cup of packed dark brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of white sugar, 1 whole egg, 2 egg yolks, a 1/4 cup of sour cream, which I don't have measured out yet, 8 ounces of chocolate melted, and I use 60% cacao of Ghirardelli and melted it. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a tablespoon of flour, and a tablespoon of cocoa powder. And then after the cheesecake is cooked, and then after it cools overnight, then I will be making a ganache, and that is going to have 3/4 cup of chocolate, and which I'm just going to use, and I'll show you when I make it. 3/4 cup chocolate, and then 3 ounces of heavy whipping cream. So we've got our crust ready, and we've got our Instant Pot ready. Now we're going to mix it up. And it says to use a food processor. I don't have one, so I'm just going to use my mixer to mix up the inside of the cheesecake. So first we're going to mix the cream cheese, when I also left the cream cheese, or the sour cream and the eggs out at room temperature, so all of our ingredients should be the same temperature, except for our melted chocolate, of course, that's a little warm. So we've got our cream cheese, and then we're going to add the sugars. And the cocoa powder. I'm going to mix that together. Okay, so now that it's all mixed up, now we're going to add 1 egg, and the 2 egg yolks, then I kind of scrape the sides down every so often so it gets all mixed. Okay. I know you can add things when it's mixing, but I always end up splashing it everywhere, so I'm going to turn it off in between. And then we're going to add the sour cream. And the melted chocolate. Chocolate. All right, mix that up. Scrape that down. I always turn it off because when I was a kid I was scraping the bowl at my grandma's house and I hadn't turned it off and I kind of destroyed one of her beaters, so I'm just always extra cautious. Mix it a little bit more. And then add the flour. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Alright, so now that it's all creamy, we're gonna go ahead and put it in to our pan with the crust already in there. A little bit of steam's coming off because it's been in the freezer. It smells delicious. Totally gonna blow my Weight Watchers here. And I just had to try it. And then just spread it out with a spatula. Try and make it even here. Now other people that have made cheesecakes have suggested putting some aluminum foil over the top just so water doesn't drip on top of it. So I'm going to do that before I put it in the pot. Alright, so now we're gonna set it down in here. I wonder if it would be easier. Let's see. Let's try this. Let's set it in our sling. And then, because this is what we're going to use to take it out. And then use the sling to set it in. And that might be the easier way to do it. Yep. Perfect. Alright. Okay. So, we are going to put the lid on and close it. Make sure we turn this to sealed. And then we're going to set it on high pressure to 28 minutes. I believe. Let me just double check the recipe. 20. Yep, we're going to do maximum pressure for 28 minutes. And then when it's done, we're going to let it do a normal pressure release for 15 minutes. Okay, so now it's building up to pressure, which will take some time, and then it'll cook for 28 minutes and then a 15-minute natural pressure release. Alright, so it cooked for 28 minutes and then it did a natural pressure release. It's actually now 16 minutes. It's supposed to be 15 minutes. And so now we're going to do a quick release and release the rest of the pressure. And then once that pin drops down, we'll open it up and see what it looks like. Okay, so the pressure is released and the pin's dropped, so we're going to go ahead and open it up. And all that water, it's a good thing I put that aluminum foil on the top. Now we're going to use the aluminum foil to help pull it up. Oops, oh, it kind of stuck to the top. Alright, now I'm going to let it cool on this cooling rack for about an hour, and then I will stick it in the fridge overnight, and then tomorrow we'll go ahead and make the ganache and put it on. Okay, so it's been sitting on the cooling rack for an hour, so I'm going to cover it with some tinfoil and stick it in the fridge so it can cool for the night, and then I'll catch back up with you after tomorrow and we'll make the ganache and put it on. Okay, so the cheesecake has been in the refrigerator overnight, so I'm going to make the ganache to go on top. And you need 3/4 cup of chocolate, and I used the Ghirardelli premium baking chips. And then 3 ounces of heavy whipping cream. And what we're going to do is we're going to heat up the heavy whipping cream to a simmer and then pour it over the chocolate to melt it and stir it up. Okay, so I have let the heavy cream simmer. I'm going to pour it over the chocolate and stir it to melt it. Okay, now that the chocolate is melted, I'm going to go ahead and put it on top of the cheesecake. Okay. And then I'll put it in the refrigerator and let it cool for a little bit until it's set. And I'll get it back out and I'll cut it open and see what it looks like. Okay, so the ganache is cooled, so I took it out of the fridge, so we'll go ahead and take it out of the pan. And there's what it looks like. And I will cut a piece. See if I can get it out of the pan. And it's kind of a mess, but it looks good. Alright. Didn't cut very well. Let's see if we can get the rest of that piece. Well, it's not pretty, but let's taste it and see how it tastes. It tastes good. It's real good. Well, I hope you liked watching my video, and I hope you try the recipe yourself and see how you like it. If you liked my video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.